And moving on, in Sri Lanka, Parliament Speaker Ashoka Sapumal Ranawala resigned, citing an inability to provide documents supporting his educational qualifications. Denying allegations of false information, Ranawala stated he plans to submit proof from a research institute in Japan. Meanwhile, Sri Lankan President Anura Dissanayake is paying his 3-day first state visit to India from tomorrow. During his first state visit abroad, President Dissanayake is scheduled to participate in a business event in New Delhi aimed at promoting investment and commercial linkages between India and Sri Lanka and visit Bodh Gaya. And for more on this, we are joined by Dr. Ahmed Moin Faruqi from Colombo. Well, Dr. Ahmed, Sri Lankan President Dissanayake will undertake a 2-day official visit to India from December 15, that is tomorrow, to the 17th, marking his first international trip since assuming office in September. What all is lined up?
Well, Lepakshi, this visit is a very crucial one, primarily speaking. If you look at Sri Lanka's last few years' history, it has gone through a terrible economic crisis. It is still on the knife's edge even now. But during the peak of the crisis, India had come to the aid of Sri Lanka, providing a huge humanitarian assistance of over $4.5 billion. And it also was the first creditor nation to come forward in giving the financing assurances to IMF for securing an IMF bailout package. Apart from this, India, along with the nations from the Paris Club, was among the official creditor committee, which helped in restructuring of the debt which Sri Lanka owes to the creditors. Now, this visit is something which will build up on all these developments because going forward, India-Sri Lanka bilateral relations are expected to be on the same trajectory which they have been over the last 10 years under the neighborhood first policy of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. President Anura Dissanayake will meet Prime Minister Narendra Modi, as well as will also call on Rashtrapati Droupadi Murmu. In addition to that, he is also expected to attend a business and investor event, wherein he will talk about, he's also going to discuss ways to increase Indian investments in Sri Lanka and as well as making Sri Lanka more lucrative for investments from various other places also. In addition to this, there is a possibility that tomorrow during the meetings with the leadership, President Dissanayake might discuss ongoing development projects which India is executing in Sri Lanka, as well as the future projects which India would be planning. There is also a possibility there could be discussions with regard to various other core areas, including energy security, which Sri Lanka desperately needs. Sipakshi.
Dr. Faruqi, also Sri Lankan President had mentioned a little while back that India's economic support is critical to realize their vision of a prosperous Sri Lanka. So apart from discussions likely to focus on economic cooperation, regional stability, reconciliation efforts in the island nation, what all can be expected?
Primarily speaking, yes, you're right. The energy security is something which is very crucial for Sri Lanka. And that's what the President has talked about time and again. However, we should also remember when External Affairs Minister had visited Sri Lanka just in October this year, right. He met the President, they talked about various issues of mutual benefit. Several issues had been discussed with regard to taking forward the bilateral relations, issues which plague before the island as well as both the countries together, including the regional security. They did come into the discussion. They also discussed various ways and means how to further take forward the cooperation between the two countries in the region as well as in various other international fora. I also have to remind here that Sri Lanka is currently the chairman, holds the chair for Indian Ocean Rim Association, while India holds the vice chair, and from 2025 onwards, India is going to assume the chairmanship of the IORA. And this is something very helpful in the region because both these countries are at the center of the Indian Ocean, and they will have a very keen, kind of a position with regard to deciding how the safety and security, maritime security, will be taken forward in this region. If apart from these topics, there is also a possibility they might discuss how to further take forward the political stability in Sri Lanka. We can remind all our viewers that in 2022, in the midst of economic crisis, there was a political crisis as well, in which the then President Gotabaya Rajapaksa had fled the country, and thereafter a new president was appointed by the parliament in the form of Ranil Wickremesinghe. And later this year, we saw the presidential and parliamentary elections in September and November this year, in which the NPP government secured a massive victory. And this will be very helpful because both being vibrant democracies, they will definitely talk about, they will also discuss ways and means to further strengthen the political systems as well.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Farooqui, for all those details.